Browns dropped the new logo. And first and foremost, this logo is so sick. 10 out of 10. The specifics of the logo are crazy. I'd love to see this type of trend continue through the NFL. This could be really big. Quick plug. I think her name is like Emily Morgan Creates. She redesigns NFL logos on Instagram and does absolutely crazy things with them. Makes it look like they can be on hats, jerseys, memorabilia, whatever you want it to be. And I want to say she actually put in a bid for this Cleveland Browns logo competition. I know it was a member of the Cleveland Browns on the inside of the franchise, and then a member or a fan of the Cleveland Browns that also won this. Don't know who exactly the fan was, but they unveiled it just yesterday, dropped on the Pat McAfee show. He got to look at the new logo. That was pretty sick. That's actually how I figured out about it. Like I said, 10 out of 10, absolutely zero complaints about the Browns' new logo. I mean, it just looks mean. It looks tough. It looks like what the Browns are trying to turn into. Really, it does. I mean, you think about it's been a football helmet, and the Browns have been the laughingstock of the NFL for the last 20 years. I mean, they really have. Outside of the one season that they had where Baker possibly almost took them to the AFC Championship game, it hasn't been anything really since. Multiple starting quarterbacks, multiple number one picks, the first winless season in NFL history under Hugh Jackson. Shout out to him. He did come on the show when I was the What Off Season Sports podcast. He actually said losing that job was one of the hardest things that ever happened to him in his life because he understood what the roster actually was. And he just didn't feel like he really got a fair break from really what he walked into and what he inherited and how things played out. I mean, the front office, the organization, I kind of understood what he meant. Again, just a podcaster, not an NFL coach, but giving my 2 cents. So let's talk about the specifics of the Cleveland Browns logo. Again, shared it here on the screen for you guys so you could see everything. So the state of Ohio, if you see that in the top left, this highlight in the top left corner of the mighty Bull Mastiffs right ear is in the shape of Ohio, where the Browns have called home for over 75 years. So tribute to the city there. There's a football, which is the nose of the dog. It's in the shape of a football. And just like the dog pound, the mascot has a nose for the game. There's the East End Zone, which is the outline of the Cleveland Municipal Stadium, which makes up the design of the tag, paying homage to the city by forming a C, and the origin of the dog pound with a highlighted East End Zone. There's a guitar pick that's at the center of the tag. It's a nod to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I believe is in Ohio as well. You have the collar featuring 8 spikes specifically, evoking intensity in their form and tradition and number, with the Browns finishing champions 8 times in their history. So I guess that's division champions. You have the Guardian Bridge. Cleveland's Hope Memorial Bridge makes up the space below the jaws, fortifying the bond between fans, team, and city. You have the Pound helmet, which is another nod to the original 1980s dog pound. The iconic maskless helmet shell worn by Browns faithful at games is hidden in the top right highlight. And then the helmet stripe is a nod to the iconic feature. The logo features a center stripe that adorns the classic Browns helmet. I mean, when you look at this logo, I mean, what a redesign. You literally go, and if you guys don't know what the Browns logo was before this, you're not missing anything. It was literally an orange helmet, and now they have represented something that says the dog pound. Going to take this off the screen here because I know it's a little bit of an outline. Pull the lower third back up. That's the new logo that they just went to. And I'm proud of Cleveland because, again, I think this really resembles what they're building, what they're pushing to. You bring in Deshaun Watson, who's a quarterback that can still play at a high level. You get Amari Cooper. You're still working with Nick Chubb. You're trying to build up the defense. I love the draft classes over the last couple years. Kevin Stefanski's there. He switches the team around. This team is primed to win a Super Bowl within the next 3 to 5 years. And if the Browns go to the AFC Championship, I'm not shocked. They're playing in maybe the toughest division in football because the Bengals, the Steelers, the Ravens, or the Browns could win that division. Yes, I said the Steelers as well. They're very well coached. They're actually pretty loaded. If they had a solid quarterback, you'd be sold on them as well. If the Steelers had Geno Smith, you'd be sold on them. I know you would. It's just not the quarterback position that's attractive. But again, if the Browns made a run this year, I'm not shocked. I believed in them ever since they picked up Deshaun. I said, "Hey, look, I'm not a fan of the contract. Right? The contract's not sexy. That was a desperate move from really a desperate franchise. And I don't mean to say anything bad about Cleveland, but they're not a team that is thought the best. Again, they've had multiple number one picks. They literally went winless in an NFL season. They went 0-16. So we've seen that it's been tough. We've heard of the grimy things that have possibly come out of the organization. We know that they haven't won a lot of football games, the laughing stock over the last 20 years. But when you bring in a logo like that, dude, I mean, that's hard. It really reminds me of when the Bulldogs redid their logo, and it kind of looks similar. Actually, looking at it now, there's a lot of resemblance, but it's the dog pound. It's the dog pound. It's the damn dog pound for the Cleveland Browns. It was a dog made for the dog pound, made by the dog pound. It is great. I mean, it's great. 10 out of 10. Love the spikes. Love the colors. And I'll be honest with you. We have some teams out there like the Niners. And these fan bases probably going to come from my neck because 4 of these 5 are huge-ass fan bases. The Niners. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen. The Niners. It's just an SF. I get it. The gold miners. A 49er. Digging for gold. I get all that. But it's literally just an SF. If the Browns can go from a helmet to this, the Niners can change. The Giants. I get it. It either says NY on the helmet or it says Giants. Some sort of redesign there. Again, hit up Emily Morgan Creates. She redesigns a ton of NFL logos. Washington Commanders, can't get it out of my head. It literally looks like a taco stand set up. It looks like that thing in your kitchen that you're going to sit your taco shells in and build your taco from there. Commanders fans, I'm sorry, Eric Bieniemy. I hope like hell you get the head coaching job. I have no problem with Washington, but I need you to redesign your logo. The Lions, the leaping, galloping, frolicking cat that's a baby blue lion that's outlined in white. We could redesign that one. And then the Packers. It's just a G. It's literally just a G. Oh, Adam, well, the Saints logo is just a fleur-de-lis. You're right. Redesign that one too. I know a lot of the logos have historic meanings to them. And the Browns just took that and put a magnifying glass on it. Literally like 8x'd down. Like quadruple times 2 down. I don't even know what the hell that word would be. But they just made the history in their logo that much deeper. And I've heard that the fan base is kind of divided. I think it's sick, though. I mean, or just brown helmets. No, now you get to have a logo. Yes, now you have to go buy a new jersey, all that. But that's the top 5 logo in the league. Straight up. That's a top logo in the league. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Multiple playing times that they paid homage in that logo. Went over the specifics of it. And again, Niners, Giants, Commanders, Lions, Packers, Saints. Let's go. Let's get a redesign. What are you guys doing? You guys got someone inside your franchise that's redesigning logos? You guys got someone that's working on, I'm sure you have someone that's working up concept art. Do you have a sweepstakes going for a fan? Do you realize that fan bases out there do want their logos redesigned? I was happy as hell when the Browns did it. And again, if the Browns can do it, because they kind of need a new identity, right? Desperate team, desperate franchise, desperate quarterback contract, first ever fully guaranteed contract in NFL history. Maybe they need a new design, right? They need a new makeover. They want to put the Deshaun Kaiser, Baker Mayfield, Hugh Jackson, Johnny Manziel days behind them. The Cleveland Browns dropped their new logo, and I am pumped about it.